Okay, we're up to Mem, the Mishnah on Mem Ches Amid Beis. Shar Shahayim Miskavi Lechaverai. A Shar, he was a little feisty, and he got in a little tiff with his other friendly Shar, and he's miskaven to get that Shar. The he gets Isha, and he missed, and he hit a woman. Now there is a parsha in the Torah called Mei V'Lodes, guys. I should really preface this Mishnah with the following pasuk. Chiyinatzu anashim, two men are fighting. V'nak v'ishahara, v'yatzu yiladeha. They hit a pregnant woman, and she miscarries. V'lo asain, and the woman does not die. Of course, if she would die, then you wouldn't pay because it become levi the Rabbi. Anishi anish kashayas alav baal aisha v'nasab the flilim in the court. He will get the mei v'ladai. So the worth of the vlad, we're going to ascertain how you figure it out. That goes to the husband. That goes to the husband. So is there a din of Dmei Vladis by Shar? In fact, there's not. We saw in Daf Mem Beis that there's no din of Dmei Vladis, right? Vladis Shar Naki with Dmei Vladis. There's no din. So really, this is a misnomer. If you read the Mishnah, you think there's no din of Dmei Vladis because he's mechaven for the Shar and he hit the Isha. Even if he's mechaven for the Isha, there won't be Dmei Vladis. In other words, the Gemara is the kasha. It's much from here. You know why he doesn't have to pay? Because he wanted to get the Shar and he got the woman. In fact, if he wanted to get the woman, he wouldn't have to pay. We'll see in a second, okay? Anyway. Patim Dmei Vladis. Shar shoyim miskaven lechaver v'hikas isha v'yatzli yadeha patim Dmei Vladis. V'adam shoyim miskaven lechaver v'hikas isha v'yatzli yadeha mishalim Dmei Vladis, which is the case exactly the case of the pasuk. Case of mishalim Dmei Vladis. How do you go? In fact, you go ahead and pay Dmei Vladis. How do you go ahead and calculate Dmei Vladis? Shamin es isha. You evaluate the woman. Kama hi yafa ad shala yolda, how much she was worth until she gave birth. Kama yafa mishi yolda, and how much she's worth after she gives birth. Okay, so mashma she's worth more when she's pregnant than afterwards. I'm Rav Shimon Gamliel and Cain, if that's the case. Mishishi yaledes mishabeches. When a woman gives birth, she's worth more. The Gemara is going to say, fellas, if a woman didn't give birth yet, she's always in a sakana. When she has no baby, she's going to live. But how much is she worth? She's in a sakana, right? That she's going to die. So if how Bishlam she's worth more when she's pregnant, and now she lost a child, you can ascertain the difference between the two. That means the Mei Vladai says Rav Shimon Gamliel. No, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. She's worth less when she's pregnant. She's worth less when she's pregnant. Ella, what do you do? Says Rav Shimon, Shomenes Avladai is Kamayan Yafa, B'Nois L'Bal. You evaluate the baby itself. And that's what you give to the husband. That's the Mei Vladais. So we have machlokes, the Tanakama and Rav Shimon Gamliel as to how you go ahead and calculate the Mei Vladais. V'im ein la baal, and if the man dies, noisin liyarshav, you would go ahead and give the yarshav. Now the question is, when did the negifa take place? After the husband died or before the husband died? So that's a machlokes b'shainim. That's a machlokes b'shainim, right? The Rosh, the Tosfos and the Rosh and the Rabbi, they all have the opinion that even if it's not if the let's say the husband dies, and then the shtar shlices, and the woman was pregnant, and they have the yarshim would get the Mei Vladais. In other words, the husband doesn't have to be alive to get the Mei Vladais, according to this opinion. According to the Rambam, no, he has to be alive to mizaka to them. Okay, the Gemara is not going to discuss that. What? There won't be Mei Vladais. There won't be Mei Vladais. There should be. Maybe there's only baruch when there's a husband. Maybe there's no husband. There's not a Mei Vladais. Shifcha finished takara. If she was a shifcha and she was freed, or she was geris pata. Now I'll see Rashi in a second, guys. Let me speak this out. If you have no yarshim, then it's hefker. We know that the nechasim of a ger or the nechasim of an evet that's meshuchra is hefker. So this woman's she's a geris. Yeah, good. She's a shifcha that was freed, and she's married to a evet that's more married to an evet. Good, and now you shtais, and he dies. You shtais and he dies, right? So who gets it? And the answer is the owner of the axe. The owner of, not axe, no axe. I'm talking about him himself. The mazik would keep the money because he's zeichen it. It's like hefker and he's zeichen it. So it says over here, the im ein lo baal nois the yarshav, hois the shivcha min the a giyaris, then pata you'd be pata from Vladais. Because why? Because he would have been soichen it already. Let's see Rashi over here, fellas. This is the second line from the top. Okay, Eleni, we're discussing the halacha of Vladais in Shmos Perek Chaf Beis Pasuk Perek Chaf Aleph Pasuk Chaf Beis, where two people are fighting and they hit a pregnant woman. She miscarries. The woman's okay, and the husband gets what's called the worth of the baby. Okay, and we have machloikas. How do you ascertain that worth? Do you ascertain it based upon the woman who was pregnant, how much she was worth before as a pregnant woman, or worth less that she's now miscarried? Or Shimon says she's worth more now than before because when she was pregnant, she could die in childbirth. But so now, that's machloikas. We'll see that in the Gemara. But basically, so we're picking it up in the last thing of the Mishnah is what happens if it was a ger or a freed eved, which have no yarshim. Then the money is hefker, and you be part of them Vladais because it's like you were zeichen it already. So let's see, we're just seeing Rashi. I said shivcha nishtachrara, 3 lines down, and Rashi klamar haisha mishachreres. She's free, and now she's a Jewess, a giyaris, and the suel a ger or le'evin mishuchra, and they're married to a ger or evin mishuchra. Ve'ein la baal, why shemes? And there's no husband around. So pata, the man who would hit her when she's pregnant and miscarried will be part of my vladais. The hamachzik benichsei ager shemes ve'ein lo yarshim zacha. Someone who's holding on to the chasim of a ger, and when the ger dies and he has no yarshim, then you'll be zeicha. So he's holding on to what? To the may vladais. I question. Why did you learn that she was a shifra that freed? Because after all, she had. Why don't you learn mishachreres? Mishum that al kochach b'shein labonim himenu. It must be there's no children from him. Kamar. In other words, so therefore, when you say the lashon guys, mishachreres means she could be freed for a while. Over here, it's mashma what that she's freed right now, and this is the first child. Never had any children before. For who adin nami li Yisraelis is speaking about a Yisraelis and a suul a ger that's married to a ger. So it doesn't have to be a ger to a giyaris. It can be a Yisraelis to a ger, or even no, it can only be Yisraelis to a ger. Umeis ger the pata the may vlod this the baal. The high dinak it's shift of a giyaris b'shum the stam shift of mishukveres the suul and mishukra v'stam giyaris the ger. Who's going to marry an eved? A shivcha, an eved who's going to marry giyaris is a ger. Okay, the first din of the Mishnah is again there's no din of what by vlados, but again it was very interesting. There's no din of the mevlados by a shar period, but the Mishnah said the shar was miskaven to get another shar, and it got to isha, which could lead you astray to think. And what happens if we want to get to isha? That there would be a din of mevlados. Says the Gemara, Taima, the reason there's no mevlados. Miskaven lechaveroi, a miskaven leisha, mishalin mevlados. Let's say it's an upslug on Rav Ada Barava. Dama Rav Ada Barava. We saw this earlier in the Masechta, not too long ago. Shvarim sheniskadnu leisha, a shar that is miskaven to get a woman. Pturin in mevlados, even if it's miskaven to get the isha, fellas. So, in other words, the Mishnah is mashma. The reason you're potter is because you're miskaven for a shar. But if you're miskaven for the isha, you be chayiv. In fact, our Mishnah Ravada says no. Even if you're miskaven for the isha, you're potter from the vaz. Amlach Ravada Barava, on Moira, who wants to agree with the Mishnah should go like him. Who I did not feel miskaven the isha nami paturin. Even if the shar was miskaven for the isha, you also be potter. Midmei vladais. For hadik tani shar. What's the reason you learn shar? Shahayi miskaven lechavera. Why do you learn that? I did the kabbalah Mishnah the seifa. Since we want the seifa of the Mishnah, Adam she miskam lechaverei. Dachi ksiv kra. That's what the pasuk is speaking about. Ki yunatze anashim. 2 men are fighting. V'nag fi shahara. They wanted to hit each other, and they hit a pregnant woman. So we have to learn that case. That is the case. So for the purpose of symmetry, katana reishanami shashan miskaven lechaverei. So let's go back to the Mishnah. It says the Mishnah on the bottom of Mem Ches Lamed Beis. Shashan miskaven lechaverei. If you read it, you think the reason you pata because the shah was miskaven for a shar and hit the isha. Really, the hua did what? Even if it's miskaven for the isha, you'd be pata. Why did you learn that case? Because of the next case. For the symmetry of the Mishnah, we learned the shar miskaven for another shar because we have the case of an adam miskaven for an adam, and they hit a pregnant woman. Amarav Papa, Shor Shenogach Es Hashivcha, a shor that would go ahead and Nogach Es Shivcha, the Yatsu Daha, Mishalim Levadas, she paid Levadas to the Adam, to the owner. You don't pay to you don't pay it to the husband. If there is a husband, you pay it to the owner, the Adon. Mataima, Chamarasa Mabarta Baalma Hudazik. You just, what did you do? You sliced a chamar, Dama Krosh, Vulachem Playma Chamar, Amadam Lechamar. We said that it's an Amadam Lechamar. There's no yichus by a shivcha, by a neved. There's no yichus. It's compared to a guy. We learned that by Eliezer, Eved Avram, and he said Shvulachem Playma Chamar, Amadam Lechamar by the Akeda. So Memela, if anyone would go ahead and gore your ox, or gore your chamar, and there was a pregnant, and you'd have to pay for it. So the same thing. But the isha is nothing more than what than an object, a monetary object, rather than you don't view it as a person per se. Unfortunately, not for the purpose of being politically correct. But again, when you're in the days of slavery, you owned this slave. You owned this slave. It's being a shikha kanainis. You owned her. You owned the baby inside. You went ahead and cost. You'd have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. Okay. Now, Ketzid Mishalim the Mevlados. How do you go ahead and calculate Mevlados? So, guys, we had in Machloikas in the Mishnah. Tanakama said, how much was the woman worth before, how much pregnant, and how much she's worth afterwards, right? That's as much for guys. You're not figuring out the baby as much as the woman. Good. Let's just speak out. We had this by a shar. Remember, we spoke about the fatness of the shar and the nafcha of the shar. That the fatness of the shar belongs to the owner of the shar if the shar is pregnant, and the fact that the shar looks better or more robust because of the fact it's pregnant, that way you divide between the bala shar and the bala of the vlad. So the woman has more value when she's pregnant. She has a baby in her. In addition, she looks more robust as well. That she's more robust. So now, the mevlados who shvach vlados mi by Fred Gemara. It's not only the Mei Vlados, it should be also Shvach Vlados, because again, she looks better. You can get more for her on the market. Look at Rashi. The Mei Vlados Shvach Vladosu. The Ktani Shaman Esa Isha, the Yesh Bechal Shumazu, the Mei Vlados, and even in the Shuma, you're going to see there is not only the value of the Vlados, Ubimasha Isha nearest Mishubachas, and the fact that the woman looks more praiseworthy. Ubalas Evarim, if they are Uber with the Meha Yakarim. In other words, so there's two things over here. There's the fact she has a second. If you would buy her on the slave market, you get another. You're getting another slave, another connectical, right? And if it's also she's worth more because she looks better. Okay. Now, me boy. So Fred Gemara Kasha. Why are you only counting the Mei Vlados? Why don't you count the Shvach of the Vlados? That makes it better. So Gemara says, "Einachnami hachinami kamar." Ketzim mishan Mei Vlados, u'Shvach Vlados shaman esisha. In other words, built into the system, what you're paying is for the Shvach Vlados as well. So that it's a one price gets all. Okay, so according to this opinion, it's one payment. According to this opinion, it's one payment for both. Now, Amar Reb Shimon Gamliel, Im Kain. Now, what Reb Shimon Gamliel say? He said the following: a pregnant woman has to go through childbirth. Childbirth, she can be in sakana. By childbirth, she can be in sakana. So why are you telling me she's worth more when she's pregnant? I could just as easily tell you, and I am telling you, she's worth less when she's pregnant, because again, she has to go through childbirth. So that's what Rav Shimon Gamliel tying it to the Chachamim, and therefore he said the Mevlados is you don't look at the woman, you just look what the child is worth. What would a person pay for a vlad? In Kemisha Isha Yoledes Mishabachas, my karma. What exactly did he say to the Chachamim? Amar Rabbi Hachi Kamar. Is a woman worth more before she gives birth than after she gives birth? She's worth more after she gives birth than before, because she's no longer a mesukenes. Elo says Reb Shimon Gamliel, Shamanes of Vlados v'nois lebal. You don't go ahead and take account of the woman. You just evaluate what the vlad is worth and that. Okay. So according to the Tanakama, you evaluated the woman. According to Reb Shimon Gamliel, you evaluated the baby. Tanya nami hachi, that is to this Rabbi's pshat. Tanya nami hachi, Rabbi's pshat. She's worth more after than before. Go ahead, evaluate the vlados and give to the Baal. That's Rabbi's pshat in Rav Shimon Gamliel. Good. Now we have a second shot in Rav Shimon Gamliel. A second shot. Rava Amar Hachik Tani. This is what Shimon Gamliel is saying. What did you do? She gets nothing. She gets damaged by a man and she's getting nothing. All she's worth is the fact that she's bearing a child. You evaluate the child for nice and the Baal gets that. And that she is what is worth more, right? That you would go ahead that she looks better, that you divide between her and her husband. So again, according to the Rabbanon, the Mei Vladois and Shvach Vladois are one and the same. So therefore, who gets it? The husband gets the Shvach Vladois as well. According to Shimon Gamliel, no, that the Mei Vladois goes to the husband, the Shvach Vladois is divided. This is important. Okay, just for, again, we're saying there's two payments over here, or maybe one payment that encompasses both. According to the Tanakama, the woman gets nothing. Her husband gets a payment that takes into account the baby and the fact that his wife looks better and worth more in the slave market because she's pregnant. According to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, no. According to Shimon Gamliel, according to the first lashon, you're not dealing with shvach at all. You're dealing just with the vlad. According to the second shot, that's Rabbah. According to Rava and Shimon Gamliel, there's two payments. One to the man, that's the Mei Vladois, and the fact that she's worth less now because she's no longer pregnant, the shvach, goes between the husband and her. Yes, Heshi. Hanyanami Hachi, a brisa. Now it's interesting, guys. We had a brisa that explained Rava, that agreed with Rava, that the Mei Vladois and shvach Vladois are the same. Now we're going to have a brisa that it's divided up. She's only the one who gets the Mei Vladois. She gets nothing. Again, nezek she's going to get. She's going to get the nezek. She's weaker now, guys. She's weaker. A man hit her. She's weaker now. That nezek she's going to get. If it's and the pain of miscarriage, she'll get that too. Nezek and sar she'll get. The shomenes of vladois. Good. Now you evaluate the baby. The Mei Vladois v'nois and lebal. U'shvach vladois cholkim. And shvach vladois you'll go ahead and divide. Now here you have a problem, guys. According to the first pshat, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said what? But she's worth more when she is not pregnant. According to the second pshat, shvach vladois, meaning she's worth less when she looks better when she's pregnant than when she's not pregnant. In the first pshat, Rabbi Shimon said what? Your evaluation, Chachamim, is wrong because a woman is a musukenes, and therefore she's worth less when she's what? When she's not pregnant. When she's worth less when she's pregnant. According to the second pshat, you're saying what? She's worth more when she's pregnant. Shvach vladois, right? Good. You got it, Kash, guys? Guys, you have the stira? Yes? You good? Kasha, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says, Malay Kasha. Guys, listen. Kan b'mivakeres. When is she worth less, fellas? When she's pregnant? When she never gave birth before. This is a bechar. So she hasn't been established yet as a woman who can carry a child for a term and give birth. Kan, and where we go ahead and say she's worth more when she's pregnant, is kashe'e mivakeres. She's given birth already before, and therefore the sakana is considerably less. And that would explain the difference between the two. Right? Geshmaka chelik. Rabbanan the army shvach vladois nami lebal my timer. Okay, according to Rava, who's getting the shvach? The husband. According to Shimon Gamliel, it's going to be half. According to the Chachamim, it's going to be all to the husband. Why? It's hard. No, it says the Mei Vladois, the word to the child. Why is he getting the shvach Vladois? Kedetanya. V'mashma shenemar v'yotzu yiladeha eini yodeha shehi hara. It says the nakfa isha hara v'yotzu yiladeha. And you hit a pregnant woman, and a child comes out. It could just as easily said, "V'hika esa isha v'yotza yiladeha," and I would know she's hara. If you have a child coming out, obviously she's pregnant, right? The word hara is extraneous. It's amazing the Torah. You read it, right? You don't need the word hara. Once it says that the child came out, she's what? She's pregnant. Hara, matam alayma hara. Why do you have to say the word hara? Loyma lecha shvach harayin libal. The word hara is teaching me, you know what? The shvach of the fact that she's pregnant, that she looks more robust, that goes to the husband. Shim Gamliel says you divide it up. That goes to the woman. Hay hara my darish bay. Ibayel chidetanya. Rav Lezer ben Yaakov Aimer. Lo'ilam ein a chayiv. Lo'ilam. Let's say these two guys are fighting, yeah, and they hit her in the foot. Would you pay the Mei Vlados? If they hit her in the hand, would you pay the Mei Vlados? It has to be they hit her in a spot where body is gonna heat up and she'll miscarry. Ein a chayiv sheyakenu keneged beis haroyon. Amar Papa loitema keneged beis haroyon mamish. It doesn't have to be keneged what the stomach. Any part of the body where the heat will reach the child and the child will come out. So that's what Rav Shmuel uses it for. He uses it for what? That if you're going to hit the Isha in a person, just because it says they hit a pregnant woman, it depends where they hit her. They hit it, where? Hara, in a place where it's going to affect what? The haraya. Good. Okay, so let's go. What do we have? Okay, we have machloikis between the Chachamim and Shum Gamliel. We have machlokes between Rava and Rabba as in Pshan and Shum Gamliel. According to the Chachamim, the way you hit a pregnant woman and she miscarries, then you're going to pay the Mei Vlados. How do you ascertain it? You go ahead and you evaluate how much she's worth when she's pregnant and not pregnant. What about Shvach Harayon? That's included. Why are they going to get that also? Because it says the Nakfa Isha Hara. Hara also, it's an extra word. It teaches me it goes to. Rav Shmuel says no. Rav Shmuel's Hara teaches me you have to hit her in a place where, So what does he hold? He holds that the Mei Vlados goes to the husband, but the Shvach Vlados is divided up between. Okay, that's in the second shot according to Rabbi. So that's very good. The last end of the Mishnah, if she was a shivcha and freed, or giyaris pata. Amar Rabba, it had to be that there was a chiyuv because the ger was alive. So in other words, when does the person zeicha in it? So he hits the woman, he fights with the woman on Sunday, and the ger is alive. Tuesday he dies. He dies on Tuesday, and now there's no yarshim, so he'd be pata from their blood dice. Okay, now so the kim in the chavalba the chayager sachabu ger the kim in the mesa ger sachabu min ager ava chavalba la acha misa sager. But let's say you go ahead and you hit the ger dies on Sunday and the chavala takes place on Tuesday, so he wasn't alive at the time of the miscarriage. Zachya la ihi begavayu. She is zeicha in his place. And he has to pay her. So she would get the Mei Vlados. So this is who? This is Rabbah. Says Rabbah, there's always the Mei Vlados. Whether the husband's alive or not, there's always the Mei Vlados. The question is, if he's not alive, who gets it? She would get it. She would get it. Good. Amar Rav Chisda, Mori Dichi. Mori, my master, Dichi, who taught this, but the Vlados Tzrari Ninu. Our Vlada is a pack of money that you can be mizaka, mizaki behu. Ella, is yilabal, if the ger is alive, Sachalei Rachmana, the Torah says he gets it. Less labal, if he's not around, loy. He doesn't get it because she doesn't get it because there's nothing. Machloikis guys between Rabba and Rav Chisda, is there a chiyuv of the Mei Vlados if there's no bal? Is there a din of chiyuv of Mei Vlados if there's no bal? According to Rabbi, yes. If he's alive, he gets it. If he's not alive, she gets it. According to Rav Chisda, if he's not alive, it's nothing. You don't get it. She can't be zoich in something that's not there. It's not. In other words, the Torah dafka creates the chiyuv when he's alive. So that's the lashon. It's srari. Is it in a packet of gelt that it's there, tangible? It's not there at all. It's there when the husband's there. When the husband's not there, it's not there. And therefore, Rav Chisda says she doesn't get anything. It's no chiyuv no vladis. Meisive. Hikra esa isha, v'yatsa yiladeha. You hit a woman and she miscarries. Noisin nezek v'tzar leisha. Okay, we ascertained that before. The nezek, the fact that she's weaker now, the tsar of the miscarriage goes to the woman. Udmevlados lebal. Okay, that's not a chiddush. The mevlados goes to the baal. Ein habal. Let's say the baal's not around anymore. Nice and yarshav. You give it to what? His yarshim. Ein isha. If the woman's not around anymore, nice and you give the nesek and tsar liyarshaha. Remember, we're speaking about a gerusha, guys, right? We're speaking about a gerusha. That's why the husband doesn't get it. Remember, we had this come out earlier. The husband doesn't a husband inherit that the woman? It says that the divorce. Right. If you're a shifra nishtachra or giris, zacha she zaycha. So what do you see? Right. You see that what? That you afilu acha misas hager. Right. Afilu acha misas hager l'chayra. There would be a chiyavad of the mevlad. Right. That's pshat. Eina isha that's married to a ger and the ger dies, then you zaycha. What did Rabbi say? It's mashma from here. It's mashma from here that shifra nishtachra oigi yoires zacha. It's mashma that the chavola took place, right? When even after the ger, what afilu after the ger died. It just says tamasai. It says what? If you was a shifcha. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the kasha. If it's a shifcha and freed, or a giyaris, then what? Then you be zoicha. Now we're not making a chilik, right? It doesn't make a difference when. Rabbi said, what did Rabbi say? Rabbi said only if in the ger. Right? But once the ger died, there wouldn't be anything. She would get it, right? But in other words, the ger wouldn't get it. Umi says Gemara, "Hoysa shifra nishacha a giyaris zacha." Amri, umi adif maslisan do kimne shechalo ba b'chaya ger u'meisa ger. Achnami shechalo ba b'meisa ger hager u'meisa b'chaya ger meisa ger. It's not speaking that you shtois that you hit for after the misa of the ger. It's speaking the ger was alive, and when the ger was alive, then it's a chiyuv. If the ger was dead at the time of the fight, then it won't be chiyuv. In other words, the kasha was it's mashma in any scenario that if you hit the woman, there'll be the mevladis, right? According to Rabbi, it's not true. Only why will there be mevladis when the husband's alive? So Rabbi said, our Mishnah also said the case that the person's zaycha. Zaycha means what? That the mazik. Guys, one more time. The last case, shivcha v'nishtachara, oigi zacha, meaning mazik will be zaycha in it. Good. Now, what if it's mashma? It doesn't make a difference whether the husband was alive or the husband was dead. He's going to get it. What did Rabbi say? The chiyuv is only when the husband was alive. But if the husband's dead, there's no chiyuv. So that's the kasha on Rabbi. It's a kasha on Rabbi. Guys, did you get it? I wasn't the second. I think it was clearer now. Okay. So now, what's the answer? These are look, guys. Go up to the Mishnah, 3 lines down from the top. Good. Right? He'd be pata. And we established that speaking what? After the husband was alive and then he died. But we said that's pshat in the Mishnah. So if that's pshat in the Mishnah, that's pshat in the Brisa. That when is he zoicha the mazik? When the husband was alive at the time of the fight. But if he wasn't, there would be nothing to be zoicha in, right? That's it. Ami, adif maslisan do kimna shechalo ba b'chaya ger u'meisa ger. Achnami shechalo ba b'chaya ger u'meisa ger. Ibay seima another teres lachem misas ger. It's taka speaking after the misas ger. V'tani don't learn zacha, learn b'zachsa, right? Zachsa. He said that if the husband wasn't around anymore, If the husband wasn't around anymore, she would be Zoicha. That's what Rabbi said. Rav Chisda said it's not cash, but again, that's what he said. Leimi Ketanoi. This machlokes between Rabba and Rav Chisda, let's say it's a machlokes Tanoim. Okay? This machlokes between Rabba and Rav Chisda. What's the machlokes? Like Rabba, there would be the Mei Vlados, even what? Right? There would be the Mei Vlados even after the husband's dead. And according to Rav Chisda, if the husband's dead, there is no Mei Vlados whatsoever. Good? Bas Yisrael, Shenisis Leger. A Bas Yisrael that marries a ger, Finis Abra Mimenu, and she's pregnant from the ger. V'chavel ba, b'chayi ager, nois in the Mei Vlados Leger. La'acha Nisis Ager, if they hit her after Nisis Ager, Tani Chada Chayiv, V'tani Chada Pata. One says you be Chayiv the Mei Vlados, and the she would get it, or the person who is in it. Tani Chada Pata be Pata of Mei Vlados. Good. So l'chayra, what's the machlokes? My love Tanoihi, right? It's a machlokes Tanoim. That according to Rabba, who says you're chayiv in Mei Vlados, right? According to Rabbi, you're chayiv in Mei Vlados, and according to Rav Chisda, you be part of Mei Vlados. So guys, it's a machlokes Tanoim. Guys, get it straight because we're gonna say a few pshatim. Guys, outside, look at me. The point is, if you hit the woman, her husband's a ger. The ger dies, you hit the woman, she miscarries. One Tana says you chayiv in the Mei Vlados. One Tana says you're part of Mei Vlados. What did Rabbi say? Rabbi said you be chayiv in the Mei Vlados, right? And she would get it. And Rav Chisda said no, there is no Mei Vlados whatsoever. You're part of. So l'chayra, it's a machlokes. Okay, says the Gemara. L'Rabba vade Tanoihi. According to Rabba vade, it's machlokes Tanoim. Guys, anytime you say this, remember I stress this every time we have it. Guys, this is just again this is mechanics of learning, fellas. Nothing to do with the daf. This is mechanics of learning. No Amoira wants to come out according to against the Tana. You never want to. When you say it's machlokes Tanoim, it's not a cute thing. You want to say that you're arguing with really some big hitters, right? You're arguing with big fellas. No one wants to argue with a Tana. I'm an Amoira. I can't argue with a Tana. I want to agree with a Tana. Good? So what does the Gemara often do? The Gemara often says it shows how each one of the Amoira could come out according to both opinions. Good? However, certain times you have two Amoraim, and clearly one of them clearly has to admit it's machlokes Tanoim, but not the other one. The other one could come out. So over here, guys, we have one says chayiv, one says pata. Rabu says chayiv can't explain it says pata. Rabu says chayiv can't go ahead and say it's pata. It doesn't work out. So according to him, vade it's machlokes Tanoim. But Rav Chisda says you pata could say you chayiv, and that's what we're going to do right now. That's the mechanics of the Gemara. Says the Gemara. Rabba, according to Rabba, vade Tanoihi. He can't. The one that opinion of pata he can't explain. El Rav Chisda mi leime Tanoihi. Like Rav Chisda, right? Why are you locked into saying some machlokes Tanoim? Like kasha, ha Rabbanon, right? It's speaking, guys, le'inyan shvach vlados. It's speaking le'inyan shvach vlados, guys. Not speaking the Mei Vlados. It's speaking le'inyan, right? It's speaking le'inyan shvach vlados. And the Rabbanon say that what? That shvach vlados goes to who? The husband. So therefore, pata. Why? Because there's no husband. So you put vlados and you put them shvach vlados. How Rav Shimon Gamliel? What Rav Shimon Gamliel will say? The shvach vlados half would go to the woman. So now that's the chiyuv. Guys, outside. Guys, look at me. You get the cheshbon. Watch. We want to say Rab is clearly machlokes. We have one say chayiv, one says pata. So the chayiv, the pata works well according to Rav Shimon Gamliel. It's the chayiv that's the problem, because according to Rav Chisda. Because late Rav Chisda, he said if the guy's dead, he's dead. You're out. Good. Says that's ayin the brisa according to Rav Shimon Gamliel. Well, how so? When it says chayiv, you know what when it says pata, it's going to shittas chachamim that the mei vladais and the shvach vladais go to the husband. There is no husband. Therefore, pata, no chiyav. The one that's chayiv goes to Rav Shimon Gamliel, because Rav Shimon Gamliel split up. He said it's true the mei vladais, but shvach vladais will be after the isha, after the husband. So that's the chayiv. The chayiv is not going on to the mei vladais. The chayiv is going on the shvach vladais, and that's the way it would come out. You're not locked into saying he's machlokas tanoim. Fred Gemara, Rav Shimon Gamliel, my area la'achamisa, afilu mechayim nami yislei palga, right? But forget about if the misa, guys. Even when she's alive, you get half of. In other words, once you tell me it's not speaking about the mei vladais, it's speaking about shvach vladais. If Shimon Gamliel says she gets half in the lifetime, so why do you have to say he's speaking after he's dead, the husband? Even if he's alive, she's getting a piece of the action. Says Gemara, mechayim isla palga la'achamisa kula. When he's alive, she gets a half, and the other one. Biba Yisema, Haba Ha Rav Shimon Gamliel. Both Chayiv and Pater Rav Shimon Gamliel. Kam b'shvach v'ladais. When the one that says Chayiv is speaking about shvach v'ladais. Kam b'mei v'ladais, and the one that says Yipata is speaking about mei v'ladais. Okay, so it's more Amri mishvach v'ladais lishama demei v'ladais. If you're getting shvach v'ladais, you should be able to get. She should be able to collect mei v'ladais. You're telling me Chayiv that she gets shvach, she should get the mei also. With the Shimon Gamliel lishama l'Rabbanan, the Rabbanan says Yipata, right? L'chayr you should, right? When they say the Baal gets it all when he's alive, she should get it all now. She should get everything now. Again, you're telling me she gets shvach v'ladais. So let again lay about this also. And the Chacham say that the husband gets everything. We should hear like Rav Shimon Gamliel, like the Chachamim, she should get it. Amri loy shvach v'ladais the shachi yadu begavayu. She gets half in the lifetime. Zachibu bekulad. She gets the whole thing after his death. The mei v'ladais the shachi yadu begavayu. Mei v'ladais, which she doesn't have a piece of the action at all. Lo zachibu klal. She does not get what? She does not get it all. Okay, let's chazer. Let's recap. Guys, machlokes between Rabbi and Rav Chisda after the death is the mei v'ladais or not? Says Rabbi, yes, there is. Says Rav Shimon Gamliel, there's not. Says Rabbi, there is, and it goes to her. And says Rav Shimon Gamliel, there is not. We want to suggest that machlokes between Rabbi and Rav Chisda is a machlokes tanoim, because we have a case that a Jewess who's married to a ger, and then he dies the ger, and she gets hit, and this mei v'ladais, one says chayiv, one says pata. Now, according to Rabbi, who says chayiv, that would good. He goes according to the one that says chayiv. According to one that's pata, he has no way explaining that. He has no way explaining whatsoever. However, later, so he clearly is machlokes tanoim. However, like Rav Chisda can go ahead and explain the brisa in a few ways, right? One way to say it's speaking, it's speaking, right? That one that says that your pot is according to the Chachamim. What the Chachamim hold? That both the mei v'ladais and shvach v'ladais go to the husband, but the husband's dead. The one that says chayiv will be going on shvach v'ladais according to Rav Shimon Gamliel, who says you should be chayiv here. So therefore, that's one way explaining the brisa according to Rav Chisda. Another would say it's all going to, not even according to Rabban, it's all going according to Rav Shimon Gamliel. And the one that says your potter is speaking about the mei v'ladais, and the one that says chayiv is speaking about shvach v'ladais. Very good, good, excellent. I like when I tell myself it's excellent, right? You know, I mean I understand that. I think it's good, guys. Little cheshbon, it's good. Boy mine Rav Yeva Sabim Rav Nachman. This one. Okay, boy mine Rav Yeva Sabim Rav Nachman. So it's Rav Nachman. Amachzik b'shtei roislav shel ger. You're holding on to a star from a ger. Now the ger dies, and there's shibudim in the karka. Mahu man de machzik b'shtara adaite da aru de machzik uba aru hod lo yachzik u'shtar naim lo kana. When a person's holding on to the star, he has in mind the land, but he's not being machzik in the land. So therefore, if he's not machzik in the land, he's not machzik in the star. U'shtar naim lo kana. The lav daite ashtara. Idilma daite nami ashtara. Maybe his das is also on the star. Now, who cares about the star? Now, who was talking to who? Rav Yeva was talking to Rav Nachman. So Amalei. Now, the people in art school, it says Rav Chisda retorts. It's not Rav Chisda, it's Rav Nachman. So therefore, they did change it, right? You have Rav Chisda, Rav Nachman. You have Rav Chisda. Harold. Okay. Yeah.
Someone wanted to replace all the art scrolls.
Amalei, Rav Nachman says to Rav Sheva, Oni Mori. Right, see, answer me, master. If you're saying it's for the star, if the star, it's a piece of paper, what's it good for? Says, well, I'll tell you what, it's good to put it in as a bottle stopper. Amalei, so said Rav Yevisaba to Rav Nachman, lots of Nachinami. Amarabba, Mashkoine shel Yisrael, biyad ger, umesa ger. So now, the ger was the malva. In order to secure the loan, he's holding on to a mashkin. He's holding on to a collateral, a security. Now the ger dies, so that security is what is hefker. Someone comes along and chaps it. Does it go back to the original? Does it go back to the loiva, or does it go to the guy who chapped it? Huh?
The guy who owns it. The mashkin. It's not.
It's a machloket.
Harold, you're correct. Anyway, so Uboy Yisrael Achev Hichzik boy, Maitzina Samiyada. We take it out of the guys who was machzik. My timer, Kivin the Mace lay ger Pakale Shibude. Once the ger dies, the shibud's off, and therefore the ger, the chiyuv on the mashkin is no longer by the ger. It's gone, and therefore it goes back to the original owner. Mashkona shall ger biyad Yisrael. Oh, what about this case? You have the mashkin of a ger in Yisrael, who makes a ger. Ubo Yisrael achav hichzik boy. Harold, she should have quit while you were ahead. That kind of keneged mu'aisav. The malva is kind of keneged. Let's say it's a $500 loan, and it's a $1,000 mashkin. So he would get the 500. And the one who took it will get the other 500.
It's in his house, though.
No, I guess he took it.
No, but it's not.
Read the Gemara. So l'chayra, it's in his chatzah. What do you mean? As soon as the ger died, so l'chayra, it should be kaina. Dam Rabbi Yosef b'Chanina chatzera shel adam kaina loy shalei midaitai. It should be kaina shalei midaitai. Says Amar Hachim Askina and the lesser. He's not there. The malva's not around. Said Kol Hechadis Day Di Boy Makni Matzikana. Where he's there. In other words, the chutzah can't be any stronger than him. So when he's around, the chutzah works. When he's not around, it doesn't. So Kanya Neme Chatzera. Kol Hechad the lesser day when he's not around, the boy who lemakne le matzikane chatzera naime lekanya. The hilchasad the lesser bechatzera lekana. Right. The halacha is the lesser the lesser bechatzera lekana. Says Rashi. That this guy gets the rest, but the lesser mashkin bechatzer shel malva b'shas misas ager. It's not there. The mashkin's not there. The mashkin's not there. Because if the mashkin is there, he'd be kind of the whole thing, right? The mashkin shel malva b'shas misas ager. Aval esel the mashkin bechatzer kadol bechatzer. The halacha would be you would be kind.
More than that.